The barbs are screaming, the industry is in shock, and the reign is officially over. We are witnessing the most catastrophic, soul-crushing downfall in the history of hip-hop. Just moments ago, a bombshell dropped that has the entire world paralyzed. Nicki Minaj is reportedly facing the loss of her 20 million Hidden Hills kingdom, and the reason is so twisted, so dark, and so deeply personal that it makes a Hollywood thriller look like a children's book. While the Queen was busy online launching a nuclear war against Don Lemon and pledging her soul to the MAGA movement, her real world was reportedly crumbling into ashes. The headlines are screaming, "Homeless for the hustle." Is Nicki Minaj being evicted from her own legacy to pay for the sins of her husband? The internet is in a total, unhinged meltdown as DL Hughley just sent a chilling, high-stakes warning that has left everyone breathless. He didn't just speak. He delivered a psychological autopsy of a superstar who has allegedly chosen a registered offender over her own survival. We have the leaked legal documents, the secret recordings from the 11th hour settlement, and the terrifying truth about a homelessness rumor that is tearing the barbs apart. Why is the most successful female rapper in history reportedly grifting for political favors while her mansion sits on the auction block? Buckle up, because the secrets we are about to reveal are too hot for TV, and too dangerous for the faint of heart. The crown isn't just slipping, it's being seized. The moment D.L. Hughley said her name, the temperature of the internet shifted. Not warmed. Not simmered. Shifted. Because when D.L. publicly addressed Nicki Minaj, during a late-night stand-up set that was supposed to be light, playful, political commentary, nobody expected it to turn into a warning. But it did. And it wasn't subtle. According to multiple audience members who immediately flooded social media with clips, DL paused mid-routine, leaned into the mic, and said, "Some of y'all so busy auditioning for applause from people who don't even respect you. You about to lose the house you built trying to impress the landlord." The crowd laughed. Then he added, "And if the shoe fits, lace it up, Nicki." The laughter stopped. Phones came out. Within minutes, the clip was everywhere. Because this wasn't random. It came just days after Nicki's very public political alignment sparked backlash across fan communities. Appearances at conservative events. Cryptic tweets praising figures her core audience historically criticized. Photos circulating from high-profile political conferences that had fans asking, "What is happening?" And then the rumors started. Not verified. Not confirmed. But loud. Whispers about financial strain. Lawsuit settlements. Massive legal bills tied to her husband's past issues. Industry insiders hinting that endorsement deals quietly cooled after controversial posts. Nothing documented publicly in a way that proves crisis, but enough smoke to fuel speculation. And DL lit the match. Sources say the warning wasn't just comedy. It was personal. Because this isn't the first time they've clashed. Nicki has publicly dragged comedians before. She has a long memory and an even longer timeline. And according to someone claiming to be backstage that night, DL was advised not to mention her name directly. He did it anyway. He said he was tired of watching talented people self-sabotage, the alleged insider claimed. He said somebody had to say it. And then came the second clip. In a backstage Instagram live that fans screen-recorded before it vanished, DL reportedly doubled down. "I don't hate her. I'm warning her. When you dance with politics you don't understand, you don't get applause. You get consequences." That word hit hard. Consequences. Because online, the reaction was nuclear. The barbs mobilized within minutes. Twitter Spaces erupted. TikTok edits framed DL as jealous, irrelevant, clout-chasing. Old jokes of his resurfaced. Controversial. Statements from years ago were reposted. A digital counterattack formed like an organized army. Meanwhile, political commentators on the opposite side praised Nicki for thinking independently. Conservative influencers clipped DL's remarks and framed them as proof that Hollywood was threatened by her shift. Suddenly, this wasn't just a feud. It was ideological warfare with celebrity ammunition. Then came the alleged leak. A screenshot circulating in private industry chats, supposedly a text message from someone on Nicki's team reacting to DL's comments. It read, "He doesn't know half of it. If he keeps talking, we will." No names attached. No confirmation of authenticity. But it spread anyway. Half of what? Financial details. Legal pressure. Behind-the-scenes fallout. Speculation went feral. Because here's what made this volatile: timing. Just weeks earlier, reports had surfaced that Nicki had narrowly avoided further legal entanglements tied to ongoing disputes connected to her husband. Public records showed prior settlements, legal battles, monetary payouts. Again, not new, not secret, but heavy. And in celebrity culture, financial whispers grow legs fast. A podcast host added gasoline by claiming, without proof, that certain corporate partnerships were re-evaluating optics. No brand confirmed that. No statement validated it. But the phrase, re-evaluating optics, trended anyway. Then Nicki responded. Not with a statement. With a tweet. Funny how broke people think they can lecture a queen about building empires. No name. No tag. But the timestamp. 2 hours after DL's clip peaked. The internet connected it immediately. DL fired back, during a radio appearance the next morning. "I've built my empire without bending my spine." That line detonated. Because now it was personal. And then, according to someone claiming to work at the station, the phone started ringing. Not fans. Not press. Lawyers. Allegedly. The word defamation floated quietly behind studio doors. No filings. No paperwork. Just whispers that lines were being drawn carefully now. Because political alignment is one thing. But implying financial desperation, that hits differently. Industry insiders began offering anonymous quotes to blogs. One said, "Nicki isn't broke. She's strategic." Another countered, "Strategic doesn't usually look this chaotic." And chaos was exactly what it felt like. Fan accounts began doxing critics. Influencers picked sides. Celebrity friends of both parties were pressured to comment. Silence became suspicious. Likes were scrutinized. Follows were tracked. A rapper who once collaborated with Nicki liked a pro-DL tweet, and then unliked it 12 minutes later. Screenshots immortalized it. Meanwhile, a clip from one of Nicki's past interviews resurfaced, where she passionately discussed coming to America as a child and building success from nothing. Supporters used it to frame her political shift as complex, layered, personal. Critics framed it as contradiction. And then, the twist nobody saw coming. A conservative media outlet announced Nicki was in talks for a major speaking appearance at an upcoming event. No confirmation from her team. But the headline alone reignited everything. Because now DL's warning looked less like shade and more like foreshadowing. And according to someone close to him, he's not backing down. He feels like he's watching a car speed toward a cliff, the source allegedly said. He said he'd rather shout than stay quiet. Nicki, however, doesn't look like she's slowing down. If anything, her posts have become more pointed. More defiant. More politically aligned. And somewhere in the middle of this storm sits a question no one can answer yet. Is this reinvention? Or implosion? Because when you mix celebrity ego, political fire, financial speculation, and public rivalry, you don't get calm. You get collision. And insiders now whisper that a private call between DL and someone connected to Nicki's camp ended with a sentence that feels less like comedy and more like a threat. Tell her I meant what I said. If that's not a line drawn in the sand, what is? The fallout didn't simmer. It detonated. Within 48 hours of D.L. Hughley delivering what many now call the warning heard around the industry, the temperature online became radioactive. Fan bases weren't debating anymore. They were mobilizing. Because just when people thought the feud would cool into subtweets and sarcasm, a new element entered the chat. Audio. Not polished. Not studio quality. But clear enough to ignite suspicion. A 37-second clip began circulating in entertainment group chats before landing on gossip pages. The voice allegedly resembling someone connected to Nicki Minaj's extended team. The voice says, he thinks this is about politics. It's not. It's about control. And if he keeps pushing, we'll push back. No names mentioned. But the timing. Too precise. Within minutes, fan accounts labeled it proof that this feud was escalating beyond jokes. Others argued it could be AI manipulation, stitched from older recordings. No verification. No source. But viral anyway. And then came the second wave, financial speculation. A podcast host claimed, without citing documents, that industry accountants had been quietly discussing increased legal expenditures surrounding Nicki's household. Again, speculation. Not evidence. But in a climate this heated, rumor feels like revelation. Conservative commentators framed DL's warning as an attack on independent political thought. Progressive voices framed Nicki's recent appearances at right-leaning events as brand sabotage. The polarization wasn't accidental. It was profitable. Then Nicki went live. Unannounced. Raw. Unfiltered. She didn't say DL's name. But she didn't need to. I've never begged anyone for relevance, she said, eyes locked into the camera. And I've never needed a microphone to validate my bank account. The chat exploded in real time. Fire emojis. Crown emojis. Snake emojis. Within seconds, clips were chopped into sound bites. But then she added something that changed the energy entirely. Some of y'all are about to learn that loyalty costs more than you think. Loyalty. To who? Her fans. Her husband. Her political allies. Or herself. Speculation fractured in every direction. Meanwhile, insiders claim DL was sent the clip before it went viral. According to someone allegedly in his circle, he laughed at first. Then he replayed it. Then he stopped laughing. Because the undertone wasn't playful. It was defensive. And defense suggests pressure. Then came the confrontation that nobody expected. A well-known entertainment journalist revealed that both camps had been invited to appear separately on the same televised panel discussing celebrity influence in politics. DL confirmed attendance. Nicki's team declined. But hours later, a source leaked that Nicki had considered accepting, until a heated call allegedly took place between representatives. What was said? Nobody knows. But the booking was abruptly cancelled altogether. The network cited scheduling conflicts. Industry insiders whispered containment. Because public confrontation means unpredictable sound bites. And unpredictable sound bites mean headlines that don't disappear. Then the twist. A prominent rapper, formerly close to Nicki, posted a cryptic message: "When you switch teams, don't be surprised if the locker room changes." No names. But the internet doesn't need names. Screenshots flooded timelines. Think pieces appeared within the hour. Was this betrayal? Or commentary? The Barbs responded fiercely. Old collaborations were dissected. Past loyalty was questioned. Digital loyalty tests were conducted in comment sections like courtroom interrogations. And then, the leak that shifted everything again. A text message allegedly from someone inside a conservative media outlet. It read, "She's valuable right now. But volatility doesn't age well." Valuable. Volatility. Those two words hit like thunder. If authentic, and again, authenticity remains unverified, it suggested that Nicki's political alignment might be seen as transactional rather than ideological. That narrative is dangerous. Because it reframes empowerment as leverage. And leverage invites backlash. Meanwhile, DL appeared on a morning radio show and delivered what sounded less like comedy and more like caution. "I've seen people trade applause for alignment," he said. "It feels good at first. Until the applause changes." He didn't smile. He didn't joke. And suddenly, this wasn't entertainment anymore. It felt personal. Then social media chaos reached peak velocity. Fan accounts began compiling alleged timelines of endorsement deals before and after Nicki's political shift. Some claimed correlations. Others debunked them. No official brand statements confirmed cancellations. But optics became the battlefield. Conservative influencers began elevating her as a symbol of celebrity defiance. Progressive commentators criticized what they called ideological contradiction. Nicki's name trended across both political spectrums simultaneously. That kind of visibility is powerful. But unstable. Then, in the middle of the storm, a blind item dropped. Major female artist considering relocation due to escalating pressure. No names. But guesses flooded the comments. Relocation. Career pivot. Financial restructuring. Speculation multiplied. And here's what makes this combustible. Nicki has built her brand on dominance, control, and independence. DL has built his brand on critique, accountability, and political commentary. Neither is wired to retreat. Which means escalation feels inevitable. Insiders now claim a private intermediary attempted to broker a ceasefire conversation between the two camps. It allegedly ended with one sentence from DL's side: "I didn't start this. I finished it." If that's true, it signals something bigger than jokes. It signals resolve. And as of tonight, both sides are still posting. Still hinting. Still circling each other digitally without direct engagement. But the tension feels coiled. Because when celebrity ego collides with political optics and financial speculation, resolution rarely arrives quietly. It explodes. And according to someone allegedly close to Nicki's camp, there's one more move waiting to be played. "Let him talk," the source supposedly said. "He doesn't know what's coming." If that's not a warning back, what is? By the time the third wave hit, this wasn't just a feud anymore. It was a spectacle. Because just when people thought the tension between DL, Hughley and Nicki Minaj had reached its boiling point, a new development detonated across timelines. A booking announcement. Not from Nicki's camp. Not from DL's. From a major political conference. Nicki's name appeared on a rumored, special guest lineup circulating online. No official confirmation. No press release from her team. But the flyer spread like wildfire before anyone could verify it. And the optics. Explosive. Because if she appeared, it would cement the shift critics have been screaming about for weeks. If she didn't, it would look like a retreat. DL addressed it first. During a podcast appearance, he didn't mention her directly. But he didn't need to. When you step into rooms built on ideology, understand the walls aren't soundproof. What you say in there echoes everywhere. That line alone trended. Within minutes, conservative commentators accused him of trying to intimidate her. Progressive influencers framed him as sounding an alarm. Nicki responded, not with a statement, but with a video. Dim lighting. Close camera angle. No music. I've survived more than opinions, she said. And I don't scare easy. The comment section exploded. Some called it strength. Others called it deflection. But then she added something that shifted the energy again. You'll think I need saving. I don't. That sentence split her fanbase in half. Because saving from what? Financial pressure. Industry backlash. Political isolation. The speculation engine roared back to life. And then came the alleged leak that changed the tone from theatrical to tactical. An email screenshot began circulating in industry circles. The sender's name was blurred. The recipient redacted. But the subject line was visible: risk assessment, public alignment impact. No confirmation it was real. But the content, allegedly discussing long-term brand volatility and audience fragmentation, sent shockwaves through marketing blogs. If authentic, it suggested that corporate partners were evaluating optics. Again, no brand publicly confirmed pulling out. But silence can feel loud. Insiders now claim Nicki's inner circle is divided. One faction allegedly believes doubling down is the only path. That retreat equals weakness. Another faction, according to anonymous whispers, worries that prolonged political entanglement could limit cross-market appeal. Because here's the truth no one wants to admit: celebrity power thrives on broad audiences. Political alignment narrows them. Meanwhile, DL's tone shifted subtly. On a recent radio segment, he sounded less combative and more reflective. I don't want her downfall, he said. I want her awareness. Awareness. That word landed differently than warning. But then he followed it with something sharper. When applause comes from people who don't buy your albums, that's not support. That's strategy. That line ignited another firestorm. Because now it wasn't just about ideology. It was about economics. Nicki's supporters immediately countered with streaming numbers, ticket sales, global fan metrics. Data screenshots flooded timelines. The numbers don't lie, they wrote. But critics argued the real test isn't current sales. It's sustainability. And sustainability in the entertainment industry hinges on perception. Then came the confrontation nobody expected. A closed-door industry gala. Both invited. Both present. No cameras inside. But sources talk. According to two separate attendees, DL and Nicki were within 10 feet of each other during cocktail hour. No shouting. No public spectacle. Just eye contact. Long unblinking. One insider claims Nicki approached first. She said something low, the source whispered. He didn't flinch. Another claims DL responded with a calm, measured sentence. I meant what I said. That was it. No drama. But sometimes restraint is louder than chaos. And hours later, a final twist hit social media. A conservative media personality tweeted, "Some alliances are temporary. Don't get too comfortable." No name. But the implication felt pointed. Temporary. Was she being embraced? Or leveraged? That uncertainty is dangerous. Because in political spaces, loyalty is transactional. And in celebrity spaces, loyalty is emotional. Mix the two, and you get instability. Then, late last night, a respected entertainment journalist reported that Nicki may be preparing a major announcement unrelated to politics. New music. New tour dates. A recentering. If true, it could redirect the narrative entirely. Or it could be seen as distraction. And through all of it, DL hasn't backed down. He hasn't escalated either. He's holding the line. And Nicki? She's standing 10 toes down in hers. Which brings us to the most volatile truth of all, neither side is blinking. Because this isn't just about tweets anymore. It's about legacy. It's about brand. It's about who controls the story when ideology collides with empire. And insiders whisper that if one more leak surfaces, if one more private message escapes into public view, this standoff could tip from commentary into confrontation. Because in Hollywood, the real battles aren't fought on stage. They are fought in perception. And perception is shifting by the hour. The only question left is this: who miscalculated first? If you've been watching this unfold in real time, then you already know, this isn't just celebrity shade. This is legacy-level tension. This is brand versus belief. This is influence colliding with ideology in front of millions of people who refuse to look away. So now I'm asking you directly. Was this a genuine warning from D.L. Hughley? Or was it calculated provocation aimed at Nicki Minaj during a vulnerable pivot? Is she boldly redefining her audience, or risking everything she built? Is he speaking truth to power, or fanning flames for relevance? Drop your take in the comments right now. Not tomorrow. Not after the next headline. Because this situation is moving fast, and the narrative is changing by the hour. Hit like if you believe celebrities should be prepared for the consequences of public alignment. Subscribe immediately, because if another leak drops, if that rumored announcement goes live, if either side escalates with receipts, we're breaking it down the second it happens. Turn on notifications, so you're not the last one catching up while everyone else already knows. Because in this game, silence is strategy. Applause is currency. And the next move could change everything.